And I think we are live. Hopefully we are. Let me know in the chat if we're coming through clearly. There is a little bit of a delay for some reason. Actually, I know exactly why that reason is, because I didn't set it to ultra low latency. Oh well, it's a little bit late for that now. We'll make do. So this is Mike here, Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and on today's stream we'll be assembling what is our kind of ultra budget PC. So those of you regular viewers, or maybe caught the stream on Saturday, most of these parts you'll know already. There's been a few slight moderations. No, moderation is the wrong word. There's been a few slight changes. Wow, words is hard today. But effectively it's still going to be a reasonably okay-ish system for playing 720p games, maybe 1080p on some particular titles, and with some scope for upgrades and all that kind of stuff in the future. So if and when graphics cards actually do come down to semi-reasonable pricing, then hopefully yeah, this will be ready and waiting and willing to put in some extra GPU horsepower. So first of all, say quick hello to those of you in the chat. Thank you all so much for dropping in. And if you're new here, welcome to the channel, welcome to the stream. Hopefully you may learn something. Probably learn that Bristolian boldies are a little bit daft, but other than that, you should learn some stuff about PC building, and maybe I will too. We are going to be using in today's stream the new Ions KZ16 case, which I'm in the process of reviewing at the moment. So I've done the unboxing of this case. This is going to be the build, so I figured I might as well just stream it live so you guys can see the pitfalls, benefits, all that kind of stuff. Then when I'm done with this, I'll be doing some benchmarks, testing, airflow, etc. I'll try and add that in either to a follow-up video or implant it into the unboxing video, depending how good my editing skills are. If my editing skills are anywhere as good as my streaming skills, probably not going to happen. So with that out of the way, thank you already to Ugly Bob, who sent us a £2 super chat. Thank you very much. Scared the bejesus out of myself and Kath when the disco ball went off. And if you're not sure what that is, basically if we get a super chat, there's a disco ball basically just in front of my monitor. So it's...
Can't see your monitor.
Oh. Yeah, you can't see it. You can't see it, yeah. You can just about see the disco ball. Basically that goes off if there's a super chat, so it's a bit of an acknowledgement for me to look at the chat and read out your damn messages. So let's introduce the parts now. We did do this in a lot of detail in the stream on Saturday, so I won't labour it too much. But essentially what we've got here is a Ryzen 2200G system, which obviously has got onboard Vega 8 graphics, so capable of playing some games at moderate settings. So at least out of the box, you can get it up and running and play some games.
You didn't finish saying hello to me.
Huh?
You were in the middle of saying hello.
Oh yeah. Oh, and there we go. We've got another super chat from Bob again. And says this is what he's talking about. So disco ball goes off when there's a super chat. Kath has to get up and turn the lights off because we're not as technologically advanced as we think we are, so the lights have to turn themselves off. I actually do know how to program it, but it's more fun watching Kath get up to turn them off, so don't tell her.
And it also sets off everyone else's bugles.
Oh yeah, and it also sets off other people's assistants of the Chrome variety, if you understand what I mean. So anyway, parts wise, so yeah, Ryzen 3 2200G, so built-in processor, built-in graphics, all that kind of stuff, so nice and simple to do. I picked it up for £40 a little while back, so granted you may not be able to get it for that now. The price in the video description is kind of not misleading because it is possible, but you will have to search around and look out for those bargains. RAM wise, we've gone with Corsair's Vengeance LPX, just the low profile stuff. The reason behind this is I could have used some V-Color RAM I've got, which is RGB, but because the RGB on this case is non-existent as it comes out of the box in this particular guise, I wanted the RGB to be as simple as possible. So the RGB is all going to be taken care of by our set of Jim addressable RGB fans. So they're a nice little remote control in there, nice and easy to do. Don't have to worry about hooking it up to a motherboard or to software or anything like that. Literally, this PC, the idea is when it's built, sell it on, let someone else enjoy it, and for me to have as minimal support calls as humanly possible. So this is one way of doing that. So no RGB on the board, so this is going to take care of all that kind of stuff. Cooling wise for the processor, we're going with the Arctic A13X, which we reviewed recently, and actually was really surprised how good this is for the money. I was expecting it to be, honestly, rubbish. It's small, it's only got 3 heat pipes, and it's not got a particularly large fan either. But even though it did actually put up a relatively decent fight on my Ryzen 5 3600 in the PC behind me, which is with basically a 360mm AIO. It did compete quite well. So we'll definitely be using that. Also, keeping the processor cool means we can overclock it a little bit more, and also again, that is going to potentially resolve any kind of support issues with it overheating with the stock cooler, all that kind of jazz. When it comes to the SSD, I didn't put that in the picture actually, because that's on the shelf. We're going with OCZ 240 gig SSD, which is a slightly older one, but it's going to be absolutely fine in there. I may have to put some black tape on the outside of it because it does look a bit too jazzy. So yeah, we might be changing that slightly. RAM we've said about, so yeah, Corsair DDR4 3000. Doesn't need to be any faster than that for the APU. Maxes out around about kind of 266, 66 thereabouts. So that's absolutely fine. Yes, Gav.
What are the fans in the one behind you?
The fans in the one behind me are the up here fans. I'm not sure the exact model number, but they're the ones that aren't the static RPM. Really good fans. We did a review on them ages ago. Kath will maybe try and find the link so you can check those out. Power supply is, as you can tell, is a real budget bargain basement thing. This is from Channelwell Technology, which probably most of you have never heard of before, but CWT. They actually make some really good power supplies for budget-minded people. Got blacked out cabling, all that kind of stuff, 500 watts. It's got a couple of 8-pin GPU connectors, so again, upgradability in the future. Nice and quiet, and generally a decent fan. These Channelwell Technologies, essentially they're an OEM, and they make these power supplies for lots and lots of other people. Some other famous brands that you most likely have heard of, and will probably pay considerably more for. So that's the power supply. Storage, long-term storage, we're going with a Toshiba 2TB HDD, so absolutely fine. Going for Steam libraries, documents, movies, Plex stuff, all that kind of gear. 2 TB is going to be absolutely fine. It's probably overkill, to be honest with you, but I figured because it's got a slightly smaller SSD, it's a good idea to have a lot of extra space on an older drive. This picked up for around like £50. SSD you can pick up at the moment. There's a Senso one on Amazon.co.uk, £20 today, which for a 240 gig SSD is a wicked upgrade, definitely worth doing. So that's the price I've put on that. The cooler, about £20. Fans, again, about £20. Power supply was about 30. Motherboard wise, Old Faithful, the MSI B550-A Pro Max 450. Thank you, Kath. So we're going with that. You guys have seen this enough. This is a decent board, decent VRM, decent stuff. Absolutely fine. No, you've watched the stream though. So we've done a couple of videos on this already. So this is going to be the donor. Let's see if my overhead camera is still working. Yay, it's still working. So that is the motherboard. As you can see, it's got a bit of a brown PCB. So yeah, not great. And as you can see, the processor's on there already, so that's ready and waiting to go. This board is actually going to be basically a sacrificial lamb. So it's got the MSI BIOS flashback button on there. And a lot of people ask me, Mike, what happens if I lose power during the flashing process? So what I'm going to do in a follow-up video, I'm actually going to try and flash the BIOS, and during the BIOS flash I'm going to try to either remove the USB stick or just turn off the power and see if it breaks the board. It's slightly wasteful, but there's a lot of people asking the same question, and I've got to be honest with you, I'm actually desperately wanting to know myself whether or not it will actually kill the board. So yeah, we'll definitely be finding that out pretty soon. Let's put that to one side for now. And let's take a look at the case, which you can't see from up there. So watch out for the reflecto porn. You see Kath in the background. If those eagle-eyed viewers, make sure, oh, tangle up on my microphone. Kath's going on the floor. So this is the case. As you can see, there's a lot of airflow straight through that case. You see, tempered glass side panel, regular kind of deal. So you've got 120mm fan capability on the back. It's just a generally all-round decent case. 30 quid, I don't think you can go too far wrong. Some people have said already that they're not overly keen on the slatted front. I guess that is really down to personal preference. For me, I'm getting a little bit tired of mesh, if I'm completely honest with you. I appreciate the benefits of mesh, but I think we've kind of been there for the last 2, maybe 3 years now. We've been getting all these cases which are just mesh, 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 and it's just getting a little bit tired. So seeing this case, actually we were really lucky because our friends over at Ions, which are Casa in the UK, they actually sent this over to us for review purposes along with the KZ21, which you've possibly seen today already, which we released. They're doing some really good stuff. So when they asked if I want to take a look at it, I was kind of like, yeah, that's actually a really interesting little case. So let's do a build on it. Kath's got her hand up.
They're thinking you're crazy doing your BIOS thing.
I'm crazy doing the BIOS thing. I possibly am crazy doing the BIOS thing. But I think it's actually beneficial because I don't think anyone else has actually done it and reported on it.
And you love shits and giggles.
And yeah, just for the laugh. I was thinking to myself, it is kind of technically under warranty from Amazon because I've only had it a few days.
But we believe in karma.
But karma is a bitch, so I don't want to kill the board and then send it back knowingly that I did it. So £60 for the motherboard. It's not cheap, but it's the cheapest board with that feature that I know of that I can test the theory. Because my theory is that the board has its own separate EEPROM for enabling the USB flashback system, which is separate to the main system BIOS.
You might get pretty fun.
So
yeah.
It might kill it. But there's only one way to find out, and that is to actually do it. So I'm going to do it. I am going to do it. I think I'm definitely going to do it. I think a lot of people need to know whether it is safe to do or not. And yeah, I'm going to try it. If it costs me £60 for a board, then it costs me £60. It's just £60. I don't have to pay the tax man at the end of the year anyway, so it's fine. Let's have a look at this case. So you say front panel comes off relatively easily. I've got to try not to actually knock the camera off the desk when I do this, Kath. Hold on to the camera.
Oh, right.
What camera, she says.
I thought you meant by you.
God. I nearly said F word then. There we go. So that sucker's on there pretty well. So as you can see, behind that actually is a removable magnetic mesh filter. So you can take that off. If you want a bit more airflow, leave that off. If you're not in a dusty environment, absolutely fine. And you can put in here 3 120mm fans or 2 if you wanted to. The case is supposed to take 2 200mm fans, which there is actually a cutout for, if you can just about see in there. Hopefully you guys can see that well enough from the various angles. But if you do, most of the fan is going to be blocked by the plastic and obviously the surround here. So I'm kind of thinking that's more of a bit of a marketing gimmick rather than an actual real thing that you should do. Also as well, 120mm fan, no, 140mm fans even, they won't fit in here either without some modifications. So 120s in the front and the top and the rear are pretty much where you're looking with this case. It's a cheap case, so can't expect too much, but the fact that you've got plenty of ventilation, you've got some mesh filtering in there, which a lot of cases don't come with, yeah, I think it's looking pretty good. So let's take the TG side panel off. Side panel has got a little slight smoke tint to it, which actually for us with the slightly beige board, hopefully is going to be yeah, Whitechapel and what's the other one?
Old Kent Road.
Old Kent Road. So tempered glass side panel, no surrounding edges on this one, which is actually quite common for the sort of cheaper Ions cases. So yeah, sticky finger marks, that's going to be a bit of a pain. And inside, you can see, there's, well, hopefully you can, no PSU basement, but lots and lots of room. So challenges we've got are hiding the cables, which hopefully won't be too bad. We'll route most of those out the back and try and store them where we can. But other than that, it's actually really nice and open. You could put a 360mm rad in the front if you wanted to. With the pipes at the top, I would say possibly. With the pipes at the bottom, you're going to lose your ability to put a hard drive in the bottom. So there is that to it. It does come with some of the mounting pillars pre-installed. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 installed already. So kind of most ATX boards are going to be covered straight away. I think our board actually needs more than that. So there is an additional 2, I think. No, additional 3 we need to put in. So let's quickly put those in now. And I'll try and look at the chat at the same time. And probably put the screws in the wrong place. The accessories bag is not bad. We've got plenty of stuff in there. Even got some cable ties as well. which I think we're definitely going to need. And actually there's only an additional 2 pillars in there. We haven't got the last one. That's a little bit unfortunate, but I guess it'll do. Where is my thing? There it is. So just going to tighten these up. This is always a thing which is a sign of a good case or not, whether or not the pillars actually screw in and secure nicely without rounding off. Actually, yeah, they've gone in pretty well.
Keep getting asked, can you filter a 2060 Super to 720p?
No.
Can you repeat?
Actually, I didn't even hear the question.
Can you filter a 2060 Super to a 720p?
Can you filter a 2060 Super to
720p?
720p? Why would you want to?
That's exactly what Sony said.
Yeah, that's like buying a Mercedes, or actually, that's like buying a Tesla, but only using like a third of the throttle.
Using the radio control.
Yeah, that is a bit of a daft thing to do. If you're buying a car like that, you don't want to run it at 720p. That would be awful.
The TV is 720p.
Oh, so I see what you mean. Yes, not filter. Yeah, it will output it basically whatever the signal you're plugging it into. So you could plug it into a 1024 by 768 monitor. It'd still work, but it's not the ideal solution, obviously. But yeah, if you've got a really good graphics card, it will downscale to whatever is plugged into. So yeah, that'd be fine. Biohazard X9 says, screwing with confidence. I do try to. Kath, a testament to that, possibly.
Not too bad.
She's gone quite. Not too bad.
Reasonable.
Reasonable, that'll do. Reasonable I can live with. Bad, I have a trouble with that. Right, let's put the I/O shield in before I forget, because I'm bound to do that. And actually, surprisingly, for a bargain basement, technically used motherboard, the I/O shield has never been taken out of the box, so that's pretty cool. And also, this would be a good thing to see if I actually damage myself on any sharp edges. I don't think there's any sharp edges. I've had a good look at this. Doesn't appear to be. So there's our I/O shield in. That went in actually quite easy. Bend the tabs back so we don't lose anything there. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So let me just see which are the screws for. When you're trying to put a motherboard in, try the screws first on the mountings, so you don't cross thread them. So that doesn't want to go in. That doesn't want to go in. So we're using the fine threaded screws on this particular installation. So then I will actually be able to screw with confidence.
Can you say what the case is? I did put it,
The
but
case, for those that have missed it, this is the Ions KZ16. Currently, at the moment, as it stands, on Amazon.co.uk and also on eBay.co.uk. I think Kath's already put links in the video description if you want to check those out. They are affiliated links, so we do get a small commission, and for a cheap case, it's going to be a small commission from Amazon or eBay, not from Ions or Kazaa UK, anything like that. It comes directly from Amazon and doesn't cost you guys anything. It just basically is a little bit of a kickback for us. Like happens with most insurance companies these days, if you get some insurance somewhere, normally you get it for a third party. They take a small cut out of the cost you pay. It doesn't cost you any more, but they do take a slight overhead, and that is the same as our affiliated links. But you can pick this up for $29.99 posted. There is actually a version as well which comes with either the Halo Blue fans or the Halo fixed RGB fans for an extra £9, I believe it is, maybe £10. So $39.99 with 3 fans included straight out of the box. Would have been nice if they'd have put 4 in, to be honest with you. 3 at the front, 1 in the back. That would have been perfect for me. And Kazaa, if you're listening, or Ions, if you're listening or watching, put 4 fans in. Come on, what's wrong with you? Tight. Yes, Kath?
Why is there a hole beside the PCIe slots?
Why is there a hole? Oh, this one here? The gap there. It's basically like a compression fit. It used to be so years ago, you could put cards in and just slide that across and be kind of quick release. But it's more of like just a blanking really. Mostly actually it's to do with the actual build process. So what they do is that is normally a flat panel. So what they do is fold this out and then put this back in to cover it over. So it's just an additional piece of metal to cover up essentially what is machining. I said that quite poshly then. Shouldn't really do that. I'll give people a false representation of myself. So I think what I'll do is, first of all, now I've got the pillars in, I've got the back plate in, I think I'm going to go ahead and put the fans in, because that is going to be something which sometimes can be a pain in the backside to do at a later point. Once we've done that, we can put a case to one side, and then we can concentrate on getting everything put onto the motherboard, and we'll be good to go. And also we can get rid of some of these boxes. So there is our wiring. So we've got a nice little RGB controller, which runs off a SATA cable. Can, if you wanted to, it's a later date, plug it into a motherboard. It does have a 5-volt addressable RGB header, but as we kind of alluded to a little bit earlier, on this particular motherboard we don't have any addressable RGB, so we won't be able to do that. We need some room. Did I do a build on the Corsair 220T? No, I sent it back. Well, I kind of did do a build, but the power button broke on it, so I had to send it back because it was Corsair. And their stuff is absolutely wonderful. Now, actually, before I get too carried away on this, what is the what's the overall consensus for the build? Are you thinking what I'm thinking, and that is 2 fans up front and 1 fan in the back for exhaust, or do I go with all 3 up front? Have a quick think about that and let me know in the comments what you think. I'm undecided. I am genuinely undecided. I think 3 up front would possibly look neater, but then we're going to be missing a chunk of RGB at the back of the case, which then we would need another one of these fans or another fan kit to balance that out at the back. So what we're saying, Rich York says 2 in the front, 1 in the back. Special Agent H says 2 + 1. 2 front, 1 rear. Paul Bakewell says 3 up front. Looks like the consensus at the moment appears to be 2, 1 at the rear, 1 exhaust. Yeah, Ugly Bob says 3 at the front as well. Sky Stalker says, oh hi Sky, 2 fans up front, 1 in the back. Mark Berry 2 + 1. Spare fan for the back. Outlaw Fett says 2 up front. Right, I'm gonna do 2 up front. I think I'm going to give that a try, and actually that'd be an interesting thing to do as part of the follow-up video. So I'll see what the temperatures are like with 2 up front, 1 in the rear, and I don't know why I'm just such a child that just saying that makes me want to smile. I am an idiot. Kath will agree. All right, Kath.
I'm busy.
Oh, she's busy. Sorry. So the only thing that this may be a slight issue then is actually lining up the fans, because we're going to have 2 towards the top.
You got booed.
I got booed?
Like the screen.
Who by?
Uggs.
Oh, Uggs booed me. Sorry, Uggs. If I can get another set of these fans, then I will do it the other way. But I am slightly concerned about the exhaust setup.
Since you can't buy a 220G for less than 150, what is the actual cost of this build right now?
Well, you can, because I did. So you can buy it for a lot less than 150. In fact, actually, you can get the Ryzen 5 Pro, the 3350 at the moment for less than 90. So you just need to know where to shop. If you're just buying retail, then you will have to suffer retail prices. But if you're prepared to look around and keep an eye on things, buying cheap stuff isn't easy, because otherwise everyone will do it. You've got to be dedicated to it. You've got to follow Reddit posts. You've got to follow things like Hot UK Deals, eBay. Yeah, I don't. Well, luckily I don't have to, because we've got a great Discord, and a lot of the people on there actually find some of the deals anyway. So we take advantage of that. But yeah, you do the Ryzen 3 2200G. If you look on eBay, if you're lucky and you get one, quite often you'll see people doing them for like buy it nows, even for like 40, 50 quid. So you may not be able to get one this very second, but it certainly is a possibility.
Matthew Day said, I missed the front panel. Any blanked parts?
The front panel blanked. I don't think so. As in what? Airflow? God, these screws are tight. I have to get my power drill out. Or I'm just extremely weak.
It's currently unavailable on Amazon.
What's that, the case?
I'm not sure.
Sky Stalker says, hey y'all, I'm doing okay. Great to see you. Our man in Canada.
We missed him on Saturday.
We did miss you on Saturday.
After stream.
Rich York says, in Europe, some RTX 3060s are being resold for £900. Holy crap. That is a lot of money. Seaman Knight says, this where the Intel is? No, we have no Intel. Bloody hell, that's hard work. I'm glad I'm not putting all three in the front. It's not easy putting them in. Once again, yeah, thanks to Ions for sending us this case to check out. I say it, I know this sounds like I'm being a total shill, but they are doing some really decent stuff at good pricing at the moment, which is actually is really handy.
We did, well, C. McKnight donated one, didn't he?
Yes, C. McKnight donated one of their cases to us, which we then recycled into someone else had it, I think, on the Discord. Can't remember who it was now.
Chloe says fans get her cable management. OCD or not.
Oh, yeah, cable management for fans can be an absolute cluster. What's it? I'm not a big fan of fan wiring, which is why actually things like this do make life a little easier, because you can limit the wiring because it doesn't have to go to the motherboard. These fans, in some ways they're beneficial because they don't use specific fan headers, they just plug into the hub and the hub takes control. But you see some things like the Corsair fans with all the cable in, that with the iCUE as well, oh my god, what an absolute mess that can make. I'm not a big fan of iCUE or Corsair in general, to be honest with you. It's nice stuff, and the ecosystem, if you're totally into it, is really, really good, but it doesn't really like to play ball with anything else other than ASUS at the moment, which ASUS have got their ROG tax on most things, so it's potentially an expensive hobby.
Aiden says.
Right, there we go, there's our fans in.
Aiden says, right now, do you think I should wait for the 3200G or go for the i3?
3200G or an i3. I would probably go with an i3. If you're buying brand new, I would probably go with an i3. I bought the 10. What did I buy? The 10100F. It doesn't have integrated graphics, which in hindsight was a mistake. I should have really bought the one with integrated graphics, because otherwise you end up putting a really crap graphics card in with it. But yeah, there's a nice processor. And best of all, it's actually available. So yeah, there is a considerable benefit in having something you can actually use right now. Now I'm not going to use the dust filter because, well, I like cleaning a PC anyway.
Have you checked out the first pair of D3A? Better value for budget builders, in their opinion.
I'm not sure. I might have done. I think I did the D4. The D4, or was it D3? I think the D3 was the same as the one I had there before, which is the Colink Citadel. They share a lot of similarities. Yeah, I think this is going to be.
Do you recommend?
This is going to be pretty cool.
Or not, then?
220T. I don't know. I don't like the 220T. I don't think it's a, well...
It broke within a week.
It did break very quickly. And something like the power button break-in, that's kind of like 101 stuff. If you've got a power button on your PC, which is basically going to break, for some people that's like an unsurmountable problem. And if you've built an entire PC, now don't get me wrong, power buttons do great. I remember back in the 2000s when I kind of got into this more and was building more, and there was a certain case that we sold at our shop, and there was an issue with the power button where basically they'd hot glued it into the case. So during shipping, etc., it got rattled around a bit. So some of them, by the time they actually got to the customer's house, they would literally just fall out. You press the power button, you'd hear it spring and fall into the back of the case. So I know it does happen, but that wasn't a Corsair case for a start. It was a relatively cheap case. So for Corsair to be doing that, I think is, which is bad. And if you look up on any of the forums, Corsair power button, just do a search for it on Google, Corsair power button replacement or failure or not working. It's a really, really common thing. Their power button seems to be a very prone area of failure. If you're leaving your PC on 24/7, you never turn it on or off, absolutely fine. But you expect when you're paying sort of £80 for a case that something as rudimentary as a on-off switch actually works. I do wonder about actually people who are sponsored by Corsair, what kind of goes through their minds. They must be thinking this same stuff and thinking, well, yeah, it's kind of nice, but anyway.
Seemed like said
I digress.
D4 white version with the ultra quiet fans you tested.
Yeah, the ultra quiet fans. I remember those.
Quite good.
Right, let's get those cables out of the way.
The best case you recommend?
The best case I recommend depends what your budget is really. That's and what motherboard you're planning to use, all that kind of stuff.
Your personal one.
Yeah, my own personal case, the one that's on the desk behind me, is the VXR from Techware, and I really like that. For a PC which is going to be at the side of the desk or not particularly on show, I'd probably go with something like the GameMax F15 or the Lian Li 215, just because the cooling potential in them is absolutely astounding. It generally is.
I digress.
I digress.
Like Jay's 2. I hate you saying that.
Kath hates me saying I digress. I used to always say it all the time for many, many years.
You haven't.
Years. Right, let's get the processor and all the memory mounted. I'm getting bored of cases now. So with the RAM, we've got some Corsair LPX slotted. So just stick it in the bottom, snap, snap, and same again using slots 2 and 4. And that's gone in the wrong way already. It hasn't. Just me being a bit simple.
What case would you recommend?
There we go.
£80 budget with fans or a case and fans separate and MATX motherboard?
Micro ATX, £80. Ooh. I would go with the Colink Citadel Mesh, and you'll save a lot of money. Actually, you'll probably have about £30 left in change. Right, cooling wise, we're going to go with the Arctic A13. Have I released a video on this yet?
On what, sorry?
The Arctic A13X. No. There's a review coming up of this. I've already used it. I mentioned it a little bit earlier. This is actually a really nice little cooler. It's got a cowl on it, so you can take the cowl off and it's all kind of fixed together. Just looks really nice. You've got a 92mm fan and you've got a 44 level fin stack there, which is pretty nice. And you've got actually a reasonably good mounting option. It's only got 3 copper heat pipes, but this is a moderate CPU anyway, so it doesn't need a crazy amount of cooling. Now, the only thing you do need to do is to remove, zoom in on that a little bit so you can see a bit better. Look at that, that's almost professional. I'll do this for a living. So, take off the 4 AMD clips. One nice thing about this fan actually, because it is white bladed, as you can see, those white blades will actually pick up on the RGB that's coming from the front, So rather than having to have a little bit more RGB in this center section, that will actually reflect it pretty nicely. Or at least that is the theory. And also we're going for some amount of quietness on this PC, because it may actually end up in our daughter's bedroom, possibly, if I can't find anyone else more deserving. Sorry, Angel. So you've got mounting clips, usual kind of deal. And you get your installation doodahs, QR code, so if you want to scan that, you can do. You can't, because you can't focus on it. There we go. Anyway, chuck that away. Nice mounting setup on this. None of those awkward springy clips, just usual deal. So you've got those, oh, you can't see, can you? Got the twisty screws. And that goes on the bottom. One thing they've missed out that a lot of places do now, we find with these when you screw them in, the back plate still kind of has a tendency to wobble and move around, unless it's on a completely flat surface. So, see that moving? So, let's see. See it slopping around? So sometimes that can actually get caught, which makes things a little bit difficult to do. So it would have been nice if they'd have put some kind of additional rubber dampeners or something along those lines in there, just to make it sort of stay where it's meant to. You could probably just do it yourself, just put like a rubber washer or a rubber O-ring on there to keep it a little bit more secure. You don't have to. Anyway, how's everybody's Monday? The weekend is over and we're back. The sun's shining actually like crazy at the moment here. Bristol is, yeah, very sunny indeed.
Well, I think you were in competition with Boris earlier when you started. He went live, they didn't.
Oh yeah.
Or not.
Oh, Boris. What's Boris saying? I know what Boris is saying. He's talking loud and saying nothing. Tends to be a politician's thing. Don't tell me we've been locked down for another year. Well, look on the bright side. At least if there's more lockdown, there's more time to play games and do stuff. And if the sun starts shining, there's more sunbathing time. So, it's not all bad. So, there is our mounting clips done. Not bad little setup. So, nice and easy access to the screws. So, essentially what we're doing is marrying up the screws there.
Aslan says,
The
why
screws?
are you using trash motherboard?
Why am I using trash motherboard? Because not everybody has an absolute crap ton of money to buy expensive motherboards. And also, if you're using cheap components, not really much point going overboard on your motherboard. And it's got just the same VRM as the Tomahawk B450, which is actually a pretty decent board. I don't think I've got enough paste in here.
Hey Flame, Flame's just got up for the day.
Let's do a few dots just to upset people.
Matthew Day said, is that the right order?
There we go, that'll do. Is that the right order?
Yeah.
Of...
Not sure.
Oh, what, for tightening up the thumb screws? Probably not. So, see, it's still got that slop in it. So if you're not mounting it on something solid, it is going to move about.
You can't go in there, baby. Here you go. Flamey.
Right, so now we've got the slightly tricky bit. So airflow comes in this way from the RAM. So the cooler wants to be kind of this way round. So let's try and get that lined up as possible. So what I tend to do is to try and get one of the screws started on one side. Couple of turns, lovely jubbly. Is that on? Yeah, that's on. Then we can try and get the other one started. A little bit of pressure needed. There we go. And we're off to the races. I think I said that in the other video. Edward Chen says, rumours The Verge is hiring again, Mike. Oh, fantastic. I don't think they could afford me. And also, I'm not really high enough quality to be able to join their ranks, unfortunately, I don't think. So now what we've got to do is put the cowling back on. Snapped into place, quite literally. And you can probably see there's a ton of clearance there. So if I wanted to put some more RAM in at a later date.
The frames usually go on the heatsink. Matthew Day said.
The what? The frames go on the heatsink?
Mm.
Oh, well, put those on the heatsink first.
I'm not sure.
I'm going by the Arctic's instructions. That is my caveat. So there we go. That's all connected up. Lovely jubbly. So effectively, as it stands, this bit here is essentially a working PC, apart from power and obviously peripherals. So we've got a processor and the graphics card basically built in under there. We've got our cooling solution, which looks pretty cool. Excuse the pun. And actually I just noticed there's some black and white highlights on there as well. That matches nicely. And obviously black and white RAM. Sorry about the brown board, but hey, there you go. Yeah, don't think that looks too bad. There we go.
You're going to apply for the Kit Guru tech vacancy.
Would I apply for Kit Guru? No.
I'm not pretty enough. Is that one with pretty girls?
I wouldn't work with Kit Guru. There would be absolutely no point whatsoever. We get more views than Kit Guru anyway. Wes Plays says, is it an APU? Yes, it is. Okay, so we can put that to one side. The fan box, we don't really need that anymore, so that can go to one side also. Motherboard box we're done with. Although saying that, I think we're going to need a SATA cable. Actually, we might need two, so I might need... Oh, actually, that's a point. Right angle connector, that's a pain in the backside. Oh well, never mind.
What GPU would you recommend to this build?
What GPU would I... If you could get one, and they were a sensible price, I would probably go with something along the lines of a... something from a 1650 maybe, RX 580, RX 590, 1660, 1660 Super. All those kinds of things would be absolutely fine. Right, let's put the...
Have you ever looked at the GameMax Panda? Some good prices at the moment.
I was about to address that, yeah. GameMax Panda is something I wanted to look at, but I'm not too sure what's going on with GameMax here in the UK, because I'm trying to get hold of them, and like we did loads of reviews for them, but something's changed with them, and they're very difficult to get hold of. And that always leads me to be a little bit concerned, because if I buy something and then you can't get hold of them, and people are having problems, it's actually very annoying that then I end up taking the flak on the video comment section with people saying I can't get hold of them, or I can't get this, or I can't do that. It's like, well, try speaking to the manufacturer. But if their communication seems to be a little bit lackluster, it makes me a little bit hesitant. So yeah, as much as I would like to do some more reviews for GameMax stuff, at the moment I'm kind of holding off a little bit. See what pans out. It could just be part of the pandemic thing, but yeah, when a company doesn't really give you much contact, it's a little bit worrying. And most of the videos we did for them were pretty decent, high-ranking ones. Got quite a lot of views. A lot of you guys were interested and parted with your hard-earned cash. So, obviously, for
It's like Ghost Starter Find this one,
yeah, I think so. Yeah, there's a lot of you probably found our channel through us reviewing some of the GameMax products that you are interested in. So it's a win-win situation, really, but it concerns me. It genuinely concerns me. And yeah, you've got to have a little bit of faith in your products, especially if you're reviewing stuff. You need to have some level of confidence in what you're reviewing. Otherwise, it's not a review. It's a public service announcement to get rid of them.
John Sullivan said, didn't GameMax run into that issue reported by Tech City and the road yesterday?
Well, yes, there has been some issues with people using the GameMax brand out of context on various other products, which potentially are fakes or forgeries. So I don't know. GameMax works in a weird way, because there's an official GameMax company, which I believe is in Taiwan, and they then kind of sublet or kind of have distribution areas in various territories. So the main arm of them may be fine, but maybe GameMax UK or whatever, maybe they're just having a change of heart. I don't know. And if anyone from GameMax is about or listening, then let me know. You have my email address and you have my contact details.
Adam Blind Divide's in.
Adam from the Blind Divide is here. Hi Adam, how you doing? So we're not going to be using any graphics cards in here, so we can close that bit down. It is not necessary. So that is that's the motherboard in there. You could probably put in a extended ATX board in there. You have got a little bit more room on the side there, and you've still got a little bit of room to get your cables through. A little bit close quarters for if you're putting a radiator in this section. We'll just flip that around a bit, so you could get a radiator in there behind, but it may start impeding on some of these pass-throughs. But really, this case is not really designed with that kind of thing in mind, in my personal opinion. You may think, no, it's perfect for water cooling mic, and you should definitely put some in there. But I don't think it's a particularly good idea. Actually, it'd be interesting to know if any of our UK viewers have been caught out recently by PC World in the UK, advertising stuff which you can't actually buy, just to get the clicks. There's been a lot of it going around recently.
Is there a smaller case you could put it all in?
No, because it's an ATX case, ATX motherboard, unfortunately. I think I bent some pins there.
You missed a screw.
I did in the bottom corner, if that is the one you're referring to. There's a very good reason for that. Why won't that fit in there? Right, I need some more light. Where's my light? I'm really struggling with the I/O cable. Is there a bent pin? Doesn't appear to be. Or has that not been machined very well? Can't really tell. I wish I could give you a better camera angle of this, but the front I/O for the HD audio doesn't want to fit. I don't really want to force it too much, although I just did, so there you go. Oh, that's on there. That'll do for me. Right, so I think that'll do for I/O. Let's take the back off and see what we can do in the back. So 2 thumb screws to take the side panel off, which is almost falling off already. There we go. It is actually falling off now. And what time is it? Okay. There we go. So there is the back. Bit of a mess already. I won't let that stop me. So we've got our cabling for the RGB fans, which I'm still not entirely sure where I'm going to put the actual RGB hub. I think we'll be guided by the science on that one. Sound like Boris. Right, stick that there. That can hold those in place. So now we just work with the cables we actually need at the moment. So I might as well put the power supply in, I guess. Pull some of this out of the way. The power supply is not going to be fun.
Robert keeps calling you Mark, but would you sell this PC to me?
Yes, I will, Mark.
No, isn't it? It's Robert.
So 4 screws for that. Thank you for the super chat, whoever that was. Who was that? Ugly Bob, another £2. Someone say RGB. See tonight.
Tell Aslan that I say hi because it's polite.
Who?
Aslan.
Aslan. Aslan's. Hello, Aslan.
No, he's asking why I say hi to everyone.
Oh, Kath says hi to everyone because she's a little bit crazy. She's a cat lady. And cat ladies are all a little bit mental. And it's polite. Kath is a very polite person. She says hello to people. Gotta be polite, ain't you? So 4 screws to put the power supply in, pretty basic stuff. I'm a little concerned about the cable management. When I did the initial review, I was like, oh yeah, cable management's gonna be an absolute breeze. But now, actually, hands-on time, I don't think it's gonna be as simple as I thought. And actually, the power supply I'm using is the CWT from Channelwell Technology, which actually has more connectors and longer connectors than the power supply that I intended to use. So, yes.
How much will you sell it for?
I will sell it for whatever it cost me, which I think is a fair price. So let's take out our cable. So we need the CPU supplementary power connector, which is going to go up in the top section. So that is going to end up kind of up here. We're also going to need we don't at the moment, but we will need a GPU connector, but I might try and stick that out of harm's way. So let's feed that through also. This is why, really, if you can, it's worth splashing out a little bit of extra cash and getting yourself a nice modular power supply. That way you can actually ditch any cables you don't need. Now, some people would just say chop the wires, and to be honest with you, I would be possibly tempted to. If it was one I was keeping for myself, I would probably think, yeah, actually, what the hell, I'll just chop the wires off, and I've done that before. But if it's something you're keeping or whatever, or it's going to someone else, or there's a warranty, and then you try and send it back, and they're like, well, this is supposed to have an extra wire on it. Where's that gone? You're like, oh yeah, I just cut it off. They'll be like, yeah, your warranty's void, mate. So, yeah, try to avoid that, because it can create a whole world of hassle.
Michael Pender asked, how easy is it to set up BIOS on a new build?
Sorry, how easy is it to set up a BIOS?
Yeah, on a new build.
To be honest with you, most of the time on a new build, the BIOS will essentially be ready pretty much out of the box. There isn't a great deal that you need to do these days, which is actually pretty beneficial. I think I could have taken that through a little bit neater, actually. After struggling with that cable, I'm going to unplug it.
Robert said contact him on Discord, so should I just put ours in, right?
Yeah.
Tell him Robert what.
Okay, Robert, yeah, if you're interested in the PC, then contact us on the Discord.
Just put the link in.
That is obviously if I don't destroy the motherboard with the BIOS flash that I've got planned, which could kill it. I shouldn't smile when I'm saying that. So it'd be a very sad end to an MSI B450 board. It'd be kind of funny though. So that is about as tidy as I can make it currently on that side. The other side's not looking too, not too good at all.
What
So,
time would you recommend to replace the ones on an AIO radiator?
if you're replacing fans on an AIO radiator, really the only one that comes to mind would be the Arctic, the P series fans. They got a load of static pressure, or if you've got the money, obviously Noctua. I don't think anyone ever regretted buying a Noctua fan. They're generally very good, but you do pay the premium. Although that's not unusual these days, is it? You pay for what you get, especially when it comes to cable management. Oh, why did I start this? Oh yeah, remind me to blame those people who sent me this, Kath.
Aslan's asking, his PSU cables are short, what should he do?
If your PSU cables are short, realistically the only thing you can do is just buy an extension. Extension cables are relatively inexpensive and certainly a lot cheaper than a new power supply. Well, possibly. Cable extensions you can normally pick up singly if you only need a single one. If you need more than one, then yeah, you might, depending on what power supply you've got, you might actually find it a little bit better value for money to buy a power supply. But again, that is kind of finer details. Oh, actually, that's USB there. I'm trying to plug in a USB header into a COM port. I haven't seen a COM port on a board for a long time. Where's the damn pin? Oh, there it is. There we go.
When is the next giveaway?
When is the next giveaway? Good question. I haven't thought that far ahead.
What's the pros and cons of not having a PSU basement?
Pros and cons of not having a PSU basement. Well, pros are not many, to be fair. You get a bit more flexibility for cooling, larger radiators, larger fans, possibly a larger power supply. What you do miss out on is things like cable management. Cable management can be more problematic. Also, if you have a basement, generally you tend to find that the case will have more storage or more room for storage. So if you're looking at putting multiple drives in, especially hard drives, then that will certainly, you will see a benefit for having a basement, because normally you can put at least maybe 3 drives in the bottom.
Does this motherboard have HDMI?
Yes, it does. Yes, there is a review coming on the motherboard very shortly.
Right, can you do a F15 GameMax fan setup vid, as I don't want to fry my board?
F15, yeah, write it down, Kath. Kath has mentioned that numerous times to me, and actually getting the fans to work properly on actually any case these days is an absolute ball ache. It really is. They don't all work in a particularly easy way, so setting up can be problematic. So I'm actually planning to take the motherboard out of there and wake up, damn computer. I was going to take the motherboard out of there and put it into my Lian Li, which is kind of the same sort of deal. But yes, we'll try and do that. We'll try and make that happen. I will probably forget or get sidetracked by something like blowing up a BIOS or something. At the moment, I think we've got 5 or 6 videos which are already filmed, edited and waiting to be released. So potentially you might have a little bit of a wait. What have I done there? Oh, reset switch, put the wrong
thing. Would 1050 Ti work with this PC?
1050 Ti would be absolutely brilliant with this PC. Yeah, if you 1050 Ti's are starting to become available again. They're not a particularly good price, but if you've got one already and you've got an older Intel system or an older AMD system, then you can actually do a pretty decent upgrade.
What other sort of
so, there we go. Yeah, good point. Well done.
Wondered.
I'm trying to think at the same time as build and take in the chat, and it's like, oh my god, my brain I think is going to actually explode. Right, so yeah, cable management is going to be challenging on this, to say the very least. I may require cable ties, lots of cable ties. I feel like Keanu Reeves in The Matrix. I need guns, lots of guns. But I don't need cable ties, lots of cable ties.
Ions KZ10.
Sorry, do I?
Rate the Ions KZ10.
KZ10. I can't remember which one that is actually. KZ10. What was that like? I think I did do the review on that.
You did.
Yeah, I quite like that one, I think. The only thing I didn't like about that is the same as what really I'm kind of feeling with this as well, is the fact that the cable management section is lacking a little bit. There's not a great deal of room to work in.
It's that one.
Which is fine, but most people want to do a quite a nice tidy build, and I'm trying to do that, but it's, yes, it is challenging. So I need to try and get this cable to go somewhere. Shame there's not a tie down point there, because that would be perfect. Just to cable that out of the way.
Captain Meat's in the house.
Hello, Captain Meat.
Monday Mike.
It is Monday Mike, or Mundane Mike, as some of you may see it. I like to be self-depreciating because it means I can get in there before someone else.
What happened to the GameMax F15 stealth build?
The stealth build, unfortunately, has been kind of hijacked by the fact that almost every case on the market which says it takes 200mm fans at the front doesn't.
Well, not those we've
And
got.
they definitely won't take Noctua ones. The Noctua fans are ridiculously fat. There's no other way of saying it, as like that. You can't be nice about it. They are just way, way too fat, and you can't use them. I wanted to use them in here. Physically will not fit. Wanted to use them in the Lianli. Physically will not fit. Wanted to put them into the GameMax case. You can guess. Didn't fit.
Is it a flat side or power bulge?
This is a flat side, no power bulge on this one. Who asked that? Was that Matthew Day?
Yeah.
How did I guess that? I didn't even look at it. I can't even see that far. But yeah, there's no power bulge on this one. I think I'm going to regret cable tying this down, I think. Cable ties are for champs.
Would you be able to run Warzone on this PC with a 1050 Ti?
To be honest with you, Warzone is one of those titles that I've never played. Now, I've seen Random Gaming HD play Warzone on absolute baked potatoes of a computer. So I would say that it probably will run. Whether or not it's going to run well is another matter. But I would imagine 1080p with 50% resolution scaling, you should be able to get probably 40 FPS, I would have thought. The onboard graphics, the Vega graphics, actually do pretty well in a lot of environments, whereas normally you wouldn't expect that. But they don't do too bad at all, if you're prepared to lower the resolution a little bit, or the scaling. What's that? Calf's pointing to something, I can't see what it is. What does it say? Saying the stream's dying. The stream's dying a death. Share, like, and all those kind of things. I should have taken that over there.
Do you know Shark Gaming?
Do I know Shark Gaming? No. As in the channel, or a person, or a company? Or all of the above? What was that one there? That is the front USB, so that can go there. I might just end up squishing these cables, I've got to be honest. So if I take that up to there, what do I need? Let's see what we need. So we've got 3 SATA connections. We've got one for the lights, which I'm kind of regretting already. So we've got...
No GPU, is there?
There is no GPU at present, no. So let's take the longest cable and run that right up to the top, because that's got a ton of SATAs on it.
Will any PSU work when it comes to cases like the F15 GameMax?
Yeah. Yeah, there's actually a ton of room in that thing. See, have I got enough room there? Yes. Alright, could I actually stick that on the back of there? Now the thing is with this is another consideration now. This controller actually has RGB on it, so where you plug the fans in, it actually lights up like a bloody Christmas tree. And I'm kind of thinking I would like to be able to see that in the case. But potentially that could add another layer of complexity which we don't really need. But yeah, and it would be too close to the fans. Although down the bottom might be nice.
Sarthak, is it? Want you to recommend parts for a whole setup under $900.
A whole setup under $900. I will try. I won't be able to do it now because I'm a bit busy right now. But
Discord?
yeah, Discord would be a good idea. I really want to put this on the front. So there's a space just there, which hopefully, I don't know if you can see, just there, which I think, no, actually, sod it. I'm not going to put it there.
Can you make a PSU quieter?
Can you make a PSU quieter? Well, technically, yes.
By turning it off.
Yeah, turning it off is an option. One other way of doing it, which is less sarcastic, is to, you can just change the fans. So it will obviously invalidate your warranty in its entirety by putting a different fan in there. But most of the time, power supplies, the noisiest part of it is the fan, where it kind of ramps up and ramps down, or you get slightly cheaper bearings in them. So if you were, say, to replace it with like a Noctua, or I'm trying to think of another good brand of fan that do actual proper fans for that kind of environment. I'm trying to think, oh God, what was the name? Someone in the chat, let me know, what was the name of those fans years ago which would basically spin so fast they would chop your fingers off? I can't think what they were called. Everybody had them, but they were so noisy. But they actually make really good fans as well. We've got really good pressure and stuff. I can't think what they're called. That's driving me mad. Someone's gonna have to say it. Literally, they'd like chop bits of your fingers off if you got near them.
Arctic?
No, not Arctic, no.
Seem at night, so that places a lot behind.
Like some of the females I've known over my lifetime. Harry says, would you recommend a Cooler Master PSU?
Oh.
Delta, someone said. Delta, thank you. Delta make absolutely amazing fans. So if you are considering replacing your PSU power supply, fan, sorry, then yeah, Delta is a really good shout. Thank you for that.
Matthew Bennett just sent £5 over to what is our PayPal.
Oh, thank you, Matthew Bennett. Is it Matthew Bennett?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not good on names. Or anything else which involves thinking.
And we have received that. Hope you're both well. Here's a fiver to get some Clark's pies.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Clark's pies. There's a hint of sarcasm in there, isn't there? I think, possibly. If not, thanks anyway.
Or maybe he thinks you've had enough.
Yeah, I need to step away from the pies. So this part is a little bit tricky as I'm running out of room here. So you have to plug in the power supply to the drive. So let's get that done first of all. Oh, did I go the wrong way? Yep, rookie mistake, ran the wrong way. So it's not the easiest angle to work on. And then plug in the SATA connector. And then what you do is put the drive on the bottom of the deck, on the floor section, put it further back, and then pulls forward and that locks into place, and it's on like a rubber mounting. So there's the drive installed. So that's one of our headaches resolved, potentially. Although where to put the cable in is, this is going to get messy really, really quick. I don't even know why I'm laughing anymore. This isn't even funny. I am genuinely distressed by this whole cable mess. But it's better for you lot to see what kind of stress a human being has to go through to install some of this stuff sometimes. I'm still contemplating where this has got to go. I'm thinking maybe there. Just stick it on the side. Because it doesn't really matter where it goes as long as you can get the cables to it. I was thinking on the back of there, but then the heat from that might be bad for the adhesive, and Yeah, I think there's probably going to be the best bet. So, Kath, can you get me some of that ridiculously strong sticky tape, please, from the kitchen? I need a drink. A strong one. Matthew Day, 2.5 bay on the back.
Which one do you want?
The 2.5 can go anywhere. Let's have the red one. This stuff is insane. It is absolutely ridiculous how sticky this stuff is. It costs about £100 for a roll, which I've already used probably half of this already. And it's just insanely sticky. Like, you could almost stick a shelf onto a wall with it. So this probably isn't going to come off in a hurry. So what I'm going to do is, let's put that on there. It doesn't like sticking to foam though, is the one thing I found it doesn't like sticking to. Which actually, that on the back of there is actually foam, so we could run into, oh, stuck my finger to it, eh?
Seaman Knight is seriously distressed by the front of that case.
I'm seriously distressed by the back of it. I like the front. I think when it's lit up, it'll be alright. So let's put that. Actually, what plugs into the top? That's RGB strip, so we're not going to need that. So let's put that there. Boosh. So I can plug in one of the fans. Let's plug that into fan header number 1. I don't think it makes a difference on here which ones they're plugged into, but if we plug it into number 1, there shouldn't be any major complaints. And I'll take those wires under there and take them over the top. And then back into there. Actually, that's messy as hell. No, I'm just going to take them straight into the side. That's a good thing about PC building. There's no real right and wrong way of doing any of it. It's basically what you're prepared to put up with.
The side panel is tinted.
It is, yes. Yeah, there's a very, very light tint to the side panel, but it's not a orange tint, which seems to be a thing on some cases these days. So again, I don't understand that. That distresses me quite a bit as well. So that is going to go down there. This is, yeah, this is not working out as expected. Well, it kind of is. So that's going to go there. So, oh god, we got... Gym fans are out of stock?
They are. Do you know when they'll become available again?
Honestly, I have no idea. I've got nothing to do with gym fans or the company or anything, so I just bought them on a... I think it was it a recommendation or was it just cheap?
I think.
Did we?
I think we did.
Oh, yeah, actually, you tell a lie. Yeah, we did. Yes, I'm lying to all.
We could try and contact them, but...
Yeah, we might still have their contact. We haven't heard anything from them for ages. I'm not sure whether they were... Was that a Chinese company? I think it was, wasn't it?
I think it was.
So they may well be into their holiday at the moment.
I think some have only just gone back today.
Yeah.
This PC looks too good to be for £300.
That's what it cost me. I went through it on our stream on Saturday night.
Prices are in the description.
Yeah, the prices are in the video description. So if you're in any doubt, then feel free to have a look. Hey, that was nice. That worked out well. That's going to rattle like crazy, but it's got some of the cables right. Where am I going to put the SSD? Technically, they could go on the front, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick it there. I'm literally going to stick it onto the case, which is probably not the best of ideas.
That's what he said.
I think it'll work.
PC building is making him jealous. He hasn't built them over a few months.
PC building, I'd quite happily swap.
It was a compliment, by the way. That
Yeah.
It doesn't look good. It looks too good to be for 300. Did you hear that?
Yes, thank you. Yeah, it is a cheap PC. Effectively, it's even in kind of COVIDian times, it is still a cheap PC.
Adam wants to know how many PCs you have in the house now.
How many PCs do you have in the house? I haven't got that many because most of them will either get disassembled or sold on or another.
But we have lots of boxes to trip over.
Let's put.
Cat beds.
Oh, I just realised I stuck it upside down. Rookie mistake. So, if for any reason that should fall, I should have done this better.
You should take it off and do it properly.
It won't come off now. Don't say that, Kath. God's sake. It's never coming off again.
Take it off with your teeth.
I will pull it off with my bare teeth and then end up in some recovery ward somewhere. I'll tell you what, actually, if I manage to get the side panel on after all this... Oh, actually that didn't... Oh, that wasn't... Ah, there's little barbs there. Barbara! That's better. Roof. Right, so we need a little bit of power for the RGB. So I'm gonna probably have to cut that down. Yeah, this cable management is sucking very, very much. It's sucking hard. Like, let's put it on to number 4. I'm gonna put this down and try and remedy this. Patrick LaBelle. Patrick, I ordered the cooler you were discussing earlier in the video.
In the video?
In that video thing. Yeah, the today's video. You said about the Snowman. What's it called? Cooler. Right, where am I going to put these cables? God damn it! So this is why, ladies and gentlemen, that a power supply basement is a good idea. But if your budget doesn't allow it, then yeah, you have to wing it. So we'll probably just have to bend that over, she said. Right, let's cable tie some stuff down. This isn't going to look pretty. It really isn't. I think a different power supply might have been a good idea. But this is part of the fun. Even though I am stressing a little bit, not a lot, just enough to get the heart rate pumping, which is good. Saves on Viagra. Just put that in there.
Patrick says it's good timing for the BIOS button test, as he was wondering the same thing while flashing his MSI board, but being at X570 Tomahawk, he wasn't willing to try it.
Yeah. Yeah, this board is semi-expendable. Yeah, this is, wow. So, oh, I haven't put the SATA cable in. Actually, from the overhead camera, it doesn't look as bad as what it does right here up front in person. Sorry, I've got a cable tie in my mouth. Our cat's looking at me as if to say, what the hell are you doing?
Who's looking at you?
Cat.
He's not, he's asleep.
What, with his eyes open? You bloody
Yeah.
fool.
He's not looking at you though.
He is. I know that look. That look of, what are you doing, you stupid human? I can see it in his eyes. He looks at me like that all the time.
He's looking like he wants to eat you.
Yeah, I think most cats would actually eat their... Oh, that didn't sound good. Most cats would eat their owners.
They are just waiting for that, apparently.
What have we got there? Bucky Cat's late to the party? No worries. You can always watch the replay if you ever get the tendencies. Right, so that is flat-ish. So I'm going to really quickly put the back panel on.
With no bulge.
and no bulge at all. Oh, there's a little. It does want to bulge a little bit in this corner, but it's not like crazy bulge. It's not like those like old guys on the beach with their pebble in the front of their shorts. Ain't none of that going on. No budgie smuggling. Right, so let's see how. Oh, there's a straggler from the budgies.
I think Bob said with their banana hammocks.
Banana hammock. That's a good one. Right, now I've got to try and get that cable to stuff back in there somehow.
Adam says apparently they did a study where they looked at people that lived alone with cats and found they started eating you almost as soon as you die.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely right.
We know that. We like that.
Yeah.
Mike's just making sure he's got a bit of meat on him for when that happens.
I'm just happy that the cats are going to make use of me after I'm gone.
Our Dell PC's good.
Well, kind of. It depends what you want them for, though. If you want them for all-out gaming, probably not. Right, that actually, there's a few cables there showing, but overall, that ain't too bad. There's a few wires showing at the bottom, but bearing in mind there isn't a basement, I don't think that's too bad at all. You still have to look at the front, which does look a little bit on the suspect side. I think it probably does need that extra fan. Although saying that, I think the whole 3-fan thing is a little bit overdone these days. So
Mike Knight says, hashtag Mike's ugliest build ever.
well, that's taking away the top spot from the InWin B1, so they'll be happy.
At least you could do popcorn in the B1.
That's just hurtful. Right, I need to power this up now, so let's turn this one off. I was just going to say to myself, that seems like it was way too easy. Still, as long as you guys are enjoying yourselves at my expense, that's all that matters to me. So I'm going to move some of this PC stuff out of the way a minute.
You're going to watch a film with your headset on.
Actually, yeah, sod it. I'm going to stick on my headset and I'm going to watch a movie, which I might have to do after this. Have some me time.
You and the cat time.
Me and the cat. Alright, let's unplug everything.
I've got your mic.
Great, thank you. You're going to pull everything off there, aren't you? Damn it.
Oh, you're so short.
I'm not saying a word. What are you doing? Trying to kill me with a bloody microphone cable. You're not crab fishing.
I caught it.
Right, put it around the side. Dear Lord. Sorry, viewer. Just the one of you. Right, what do I actually need to connect up here? I need a bigger table.
RGB lights on this case equals pig with lipstick.
C. McKnight's really not happy with this case, is he?
How do you know it's C. McKnight?
Well, he said Poe. That's always a giveaway. It's like when he does his Banksy work and it says Poe at the end of it. It's like, well, you know it's bloody him. That was a relatively good sign. Let's put the side panel on just for giggles.
Some boys ask where they can get a 1660 or 1660 Super in stock.
Good luck. It's not going to happen. Live in the now. If there were 1660s in stock anywhere, they'd be sold.
You should be quiet doing that.
Oh yeah. I get electric shock now.
card?
From SATA, which hopefully I remember to plug in.
Eyes down for out of range.
Eyes down for what?
Out of range.
Yeah. It will be out of range. I'm more concerned. Actually, yeah, it will be, won't it? Because it's not VGA. I might have to go and get a VGA cable. But we'll see.
As a new gamer, is it best?
Right, can you guys see that? Yes, you can. So,
As a new gamer, is it best to suggest to build your own PC or buy from a site, Amazon, eBay, etc.?
oh, it's powered up. But the lights aren't. Oh God. Did I not plug that in? I'm sure I plugged that in. Well, that's a disappointment. Oh, talking of disappointments. Oh no, out of range. Did I take the light? Oh, I can't open that now. Can you open that, Kath, please? Oh, did I not plug the lights in? I'm sure I plugged the lights in. Is there a battery in there?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not the news I wanted.
Oh, I didn't know I connected the batteries out of these.
That's a CR2025. So why is that not working? Now, fan speed's working.
Should never put the sides on before testing.
Ah, it's in motherboard mode. Hallelujah. There we go. It's weird actually the effect that there is on the front of there. Because if you move it to slightly different angles, the fans shift.
It's almost 3D.
That is a really, really unusual look. I quite like that. I would have to.
Measure twice, cut once.
And that don't look too bad. Hey Google, turn off the studio lights. That's not too bad. You guys can't really see it in its full glory. Wow, old school RGB. Where's Unicorn Puke?
Eight-bit PC build.
Oh. There, that's on the quiet mode for the fans. That looks really good. I'm quite impressed with that. And I'm not just saying it. And there we go.
Perfect.
Rainbow Puke of me up, landlord. Look at that effect on the front. It's like those things you used to have as a kid where you'd look at it and it'd like change. Holy balls. I like that. That is different. It may not be a thing of total beauty, and depending on the angle you're looking at it, but it is definitely different. Hey Google, turn on the studio lights. Because Kath's lazy. Wait, there we go. Anyway. Seamanite says, hey, the 90s cool, they want their case back. It's not that bad. Brick wallpaper looks so nice with white RGB. It does actually. When we first did this and we had the white RGB case on there, which was the Cooler Master one, it did look awesome.
Cooler Master.
It was Q300L. Or Masterbox Lite 3.1. One of those we had out there.
Well, yeah, didn't we have the Inman 103?
That was after.
Didn't think we had white.
And the airflow on there is brilliant. It's pulling right the way through. That's with the low fan mode. I'm trying to. I wonder if that'll hold on there. No. That's actually a good thing because the fins are so deep on there. Even if you do try and block it, it doesn't really block it. It just goes around it. So that's pretty good. I like that. I do genuinely like it. It's a pain in the ass to wire, but it does look very unusual in a nice way. And I think the Arctic cooler actually works out really well. Reflecting the light. Not bad. Not bad. Temps, well, yeah, they would be good, but sadly, because this stupid monitor doesn't work properly, I'm gonna have to, I might have to reinstall Windows on it, so we'll see. Let's get some VGA input going.
Did you find it quite tricky trying to squeeze the cables in?
Yes, if I'm honest, yes. It would have been a much easier job if there was more room in the back. But can't have it all. And I'm about to find out that this monitor doesn't have VGA, I think. We will see. Oh, it has. Praise the Lord.
That's just a normal Google Home, isn't it?
Yeah. Right, signal cable not connected, so that means let's try that again. It might actually be this Corsair RAM. I hate Corsair RAM. Those of you that are regulars to the channel will know that I'm not a big fan of the Corsair RAM. And I've got a display.
The ATIS want the VGA cable back.
Hey, there we go. BIOS is on the screen. Hopefully you ladies and gentlemen can see that. Patrick LaBelle, so give us $5 Canadian. Says, I have to go, keep going. I will catch you in the replay. I will catch you later. That's what Kev says. Sorry, Kev, if you're watching this.
Leave that one off from now on because you don't need it on.
Yeah, leave that one off if you want. So we're in the BIOS. Currently, the core temperature of the CPU is 29 degrees. Motherboard temperature is 30 degrees. And we are currently in a 24-degree ambient room, which is kind of nice. Let's turn OC Genie on and we'll XMP the bejesus out of it. Actually, let's have a look. What is the XMP?
The RB wondered where you got that red double-sided tape.
I think I stole it from the BBC. Maybe. Actually, I'm not sure. I think it came from RS Components. So I probably did. Probably, maybe.
Definitely, maybe.
Boot device is UEFI hard disk. No, I don't want UEFI hard disk. I want actually UEFI hard disk. Yeah, let's change the boot options here a minute, and we'll make sure that it's going to boot. Storage.
Adam suspected as much.
It's good gear. Worth its weight, definitely. Right, let's have boot mode, UEFI, hard disk, yes, and where's BBS properties? That should be in here. Actually, is it showing both disks? I didn't even think to look at that.
What temp is average for CPU, GPU?
Depends what CPU and GPU it is.
Adam's got 3 Henrys in his house.
Oh God. I've been through this BIOS so many times recently, you'd think, without me being a complete imbecile, I'd be able to find the boot settings. Boot, full screen, blah blah. Boot mode. UEFI hard disk. But where's the BBS option?
West Plays is off.
Thank you. Thanks for stopping by. Toshiba. Yeah, they're both showing. Why can I not find that? Am I being completely stupid? It's likely. Advanced. Integrated peripherals. Hot play. I just swore BBS was in there somewhere. Nah. I'll sod it. Let's just see what happens. What's the worst?
Advanced mode from EZ mode.
There's my USB there.
3. Go to BIOS, then select settings. Advanced. Is that anything to do with you?
Possibly. It might just boot because I think there's Windows actually on there. Is it going to like those memory settings? Yes. Yeah, whatever. OC Genie is enabled. It is not recommended to do things in your BIOS. It will be harmful. Will it actually boot? Possibly. Or is it now in a boot loop? Yay! It's in a boot loop. Son of a bitch. Right. Let's boot from that. Where did they say that setting was? Settings.
It's advanced mode from easy mode 3.
So advanced mode, yeah.
Easy mode 3.
I haven't got an easy mode.
EZ.
Oh, 3 storage.
Go to BIOS. Then select settings.
Settings, yep.
Advanced.
Yep.
Windows OS.
Configuration, yep.
BIOS, UE,
Yep.
CSM mode, and change setting to
UEFI.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is. But it's not showing the 2 drives.
Did you plug them in?
Yeah, they're both recognised in the BIOS. Right, let's reboot again. Is it F10 or F12 for the boot menu? I can't remember on this one. I think it's F11. Kingston Data Traveler, that's the one. And we get the stupid screen.
Is it because you flashed the BIOS already?
No.
You did, didn't you?
I have done before. Oh, nice. That's right. I think it's going to need a Windows reinstall, so I'm going to go ahead and do that now. So while it's thinking about that, let's answer some of your questions and hopefully answer them in a professional, meaningful way. So, Mark Berry says, do you remember those Silent X fans? They were really quiet fans. I remember the name, I don't remember the fans. Mr. Dravnek says, what GPU? Couldn't find it in the description. It's an APU, it's built into the processor on the Ryzen 3 2200G. Mark says, hi Mike, on Saturday you were going to use a Ryzen cooler. What did you use instead? P.S. I'm one of your lurkers, lol. The cooler in there at the moment is the Arctic Freezer A13X, which is a relatively new one. What the hell's going on? That's taking way too long. Never use old hard drives. It's never a good idea. Epic Sound Plus says, nice video. Thank you. Chloe Grice says, could be faulty RAM too. This is a thing which I run into all the time with Corsair LPX. I don't know what it is with Corsair LPX. I just don't get any luck with it whatsoever. It seems every system I put it into, it just causes issues. I put the V-Color stuff in and it just works. I do love V-Color RAM generally. It's really good. And so much so, actually, I bought some today. Actually they didn't send it to me. Well, I bought this from their American site because, well, why not?
It only took 2 days.
And yeah, I ordered it Thursday, I think, and it came in this morning. So that was brilliant. I did pay a bit more for shipping to get it express, but it was great. So you got 2 sticks of RAM and 2 fake dummy kits, and that's the DDR4 3600. Good stuff. Looking forward to using that. What is going on? Come on. Play the game. Although, potentially, that hard drive did get dropped. And the SSD has at some point. So it could be that. Epic Sign Plus says, I love your video so much. Well, thank you. That's very kind of you. Christian says, buy me a new PC, please. Is that aimed at me? You have got to be tripping.
Hello, Daisy.
Joe says, I'm not sure if this is what you were planning to do, but you should be able to flash the BIOS in Windows. Many Mobo have this feature now. No, I'm just trying to get it to boot up, but I think there's probably an old installation on there, which for some reason it just does not like. Possibly having 2 drives which have both had Windows on at some point as well. And I think the hard drive, actually I took out of my NAS, so it might have some sort of weird bootloader on that as well. We'll see what happens. Cosmic Space Muffin says hello. Will's YouTube says, could you rate this build? As a build experience, I would say it was okay. It wasn't overly tricky. Most of it was accessible. I think the biggest problem, as is always the case if you haven't got a basement for the power supply section, is basically just where to put all the cables. There isn't a lot of room, and although you get a load of extra room in the front, so generally the system's going to be cooler because you've got a larger volume, you're losing out on cable management space, so it is a trade-off. And this thing is taking forever, so I'm going to try that in the motherboard's USB. Oh, the smell of a new power supply burning in, I love that. Turn off. And turn on again. One of the downsides of using a remote control like this for your lighting is the fact that if you've got any other systems that use the same stuff, like Kaf's computer over there, then yeah, it's going to do the same thing. So Kaf's PC is currently over there in white also now.
Have you ever sleeved your own PSU cables?
I haven't, no. Something I've always actually wanted to be able to do, but I think
Might
that's
make an interesting video.
it's a little bit beyond my ability. Yeah, it would be interesting watching me set fire to myself. Did yours change as well? No. Oh, it didn't change. I quite like the Unicorn Puke. Wonder if that SSD is ruined. It could be. I did drop that SSD. Well, I didn't drop it as such. It more fell off the shelf because it was up here.
Just like that CPU last week.
Just like the CPU, yeah. Oh, I made a mess of that CPU. Right, I'm going to try it with the with that other drive disconnected. A little bit of fault finding going on a Mike's Unboxing on Wednesday? On a Monday afternoon. It's going to be Wednesday by the time I get this damn thing working, I reckon. I'm almost tempted to take the RAM out and put the other V-Color RAM in, and I would hope it would start straight away.
I wish you wouldn't have that glass by your feet.
Yeah, I'm thinking that. Right, that is the bottom one.
Did the drive live in an Intel PC before?
No, I don't think it did. It was in another AMD system, but it did get dropped, so yeah, potentially. I may have killed it.
Mike is the new Linus, or you will be, because your trainers aren't on their way. Resort to flip-flops soon. Is there an after show chat?
Is there an after show chat? There probably will be, actually, yeah. Cosmic Space Muffin says, OCZ disc, I had 2 of those and they both failed. Yeah, I think it might be... that drive may have met its match, being me and the floor. Not necessarily at the same time. I'm not going to install Windows on a 2 terabyte drive because that's just ridiculous. But have I got anything on NVMe? That could be a quick way of booting up, couldn't it? What have I got there? Come to daddy. What's on there? Ah, right, that's got Windows on it. I'll stick this in just so we can see what Windows is like and get some damn it! Temperature readings. Sorry, NVMe drive. I Linused it. Damn it. How do I do it, Kath?
How do you do what?
How do like drop stuff all the time? I do have the affliction known as dropsy. Right, I'm not even going to screw it in. I'm just going to leave it there precariously. If it falls out, it falls out.
Not with confidence.
I'm not screwing with confidence on that one. By the way, ladies and gents, don't do this with your NVMe drive. It's not good. Let's try that Windows Boot Manager. See what's on here. I think that OCZ drive is actually bitten the bullet. That's pretty upsetting. I'm going to have to buy another SSD now. Which, the Asenso drives at the moment, 20 quid on Amazon. Hey, there we go. It's booted to Windows. It doesn't have anything else on it because I've not connected up the LAN cable. But at least it works. And you lot can see that it does work and that I'm not a complete imbecile.
Joe says if the SSD manufacturers ever want to shock test their products, they know where to send them.
Yeah, that's very true. And there we go, we're in Windows. Well, we'll wait for that to settle down. And then we'll take a look at some of the... Oh, actually, this has got a Dragon Sensor on it, so that's quite useful. And Steam. What the hell drive was that out of then? That's confusing. Should label up my drives.
Is it an A60?
No, it's an A80. Hey ho. Right, device manager, what's going on here? Oh, no dodgy looking things, so there's much happiness. Right, let's see what is in Steam. Rocket League, Wreckfest. Oh, that's quite a new one. Cyberpunk. No. No, 3 more. Oh no, none of it's installed. Brilliant. So, CPU Z. Oh, Cinebench will be on here. So, any guesses for Cinebench scores? We'll do a quick Cinebench R23 and see what the deal is there. Let's turn off OneDrive because that's going to be syncing because I haven't used this for ages. Close, okay, and oh, I don't want to use my Teams or Meet or anything. Right, exit. Cinebench. Let's have hardware monitor open as well. And then I'll quickly put the side panel back on to trap the air in. Awesome sauce. Yeah, this is where I drop the glass panel and it shatters into a billion pieces. One thumb screw should be enough, shouldn't it? Do it properly. There's an NVMe drive there hanging out, literally.
That's fine.
Right, current temperatures as it stands. So essentially, this is idle conditions. So we've got 30 degrees is the system temperature, PCH is 33, the MOSFETs are 35, and the CPU maintains this 46. What is it doing? It's doing something in the background, surely.
Cosmic Space Muffin says 6,000 with RGB on, 500 with it off.
Yeah, you always get higher score. Actually, let's try that. Let's turn the RGB off, or actually put it to white. And so CPU's dropped down to 33 now, so that's absolutely fine. So let's run the Cinebench quickly. Although running, oh no, I don't want single core. Hang all day. No, stop. Right. Let's do multi-core. This may not be great because obviously I've just input Windows in from another computer, so it's probably doing a load of background tasks, but at least it'll give us an idea of temperatures, even if the score is looking absolutely horrendous. Look at those 4 whole whopping cores. That is a downside of the Ryzen 3 2200G. It's 4 cores, not 4 cores, 8 threads. It's just 4 physical cores. See you later, Cosmic. Chloe says, got to get some GameCube emulation going on it, or PS2.
Rodrigo says, what are your thoughts about i3?
My thoughts about i3, well, I've got the i3 10100F,
Versus.
and I like it. I would probably go with the 10400 personally, after experiencing it. I think the 400 does offer you better value for money, and better speeds and all that kind of stuff. Better overall chip, really. I think, yeah, you get more cores as well, don't you? Because you get 6 cores, 12 threads. So what temperature are we getting up to? 58 degrees in Cinebench, which for a relatively small cooler, that's not too bad. When normally you can see Cinebench hit 70 easy. Especially if you're using the stock cooler, and go even higher than that. There's some pretty decent airflow. The air coming out the back is actually cold. Not bad. So effectively you've got a clear air path, so you've got the top fan blowing cold air straight into the path of the CPU cooler, from the CPU cooler straight out to the exhaust fan and pushing it straight out that back. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that. We've got 59 degrees now. And obviously at the moment the paste hasn't cured at all. So we are looking at brand new fresh paste, which hasn't really set itself up. Normally with fresh paste you get the system nice and hot, let it cool down for a bit to shrink it back into size, and then the next time you use it, it's pretty much at some of its optimum conditions. So it isn't going to be great out of the box. But as a quick reference point, it's not bad. Still, we're at 59 degrees. I was thinking that the screen's frozen, but it hasn't. It's just not moving. It's stuck on 59. The system temperature again still 30 degrees. The PCH is 33 degrees. The MOSFETs are 40 degrees. CPU still hovering at 59. Which is pretty decent. Hugh says, I found out by accident that Linux can be moved from box to box. Have it on SSD just for testing. With a bad back, I drop things all the time. Have to be careful not to drop myself. I know the feeling of, I used to suffer with a bad back quite a lot. But recently it's been, touch wood, much better. So yeah, I feel for you there. Wow, this is taking a long ass time. And I'm pretty sure this is going to come in pretty much rock bottom, because the lowest one on Cinebench at the moment is the 11th Gen Core i7, so it's not going to get anywhere near there, clearly. And 4 cores is really horrendous now. It generally is. I think I've probably just been spoilt, but it just seems so slow. But I suppose it is. If you're doing this sort of stuff. For gaming and that, it's going to be absolutely fine. Phantasfate Gaming says, hey, how you doing? Pratham Parekh, sorry if I've obliterated that, says, hi, how you doing? Have I missed anything? No, come on. Oh, we're done. So 3,150 points is not great, is it? I'm not too sure what the standard Cinebench score is. If someone can look up Cinebench R23 score for Ryzen 3 2200G, I would appreciate that immensely. But I don't think that's brilliant, but I don't think it's that bad. It's roughly half that of i7 7700K, so that is kind of about right, I think. And now that that's finished, the CPU temperatures drop straight down to 34 and still dropping 33. So yeah, temperature wise, I'm really pleased. That's pretty decent. Not bad at all. So anyway, I think that's going to pretty much wrap this one up. I just wanted to do a quick, oh, I say quick, how long has it been? Can't even see how long it is now. Regardless.
117 minutes.
117 minutes, so nearly 2 hours. That's just normal, about normal for my streams, so I must try and get that number down. So thanks for everyone for watching. If you want to see more about this particular case, there will be a review video which I've actually filmed today, which I'll be editing, which will be out soon, so if you're interested in that, feel free to check out the links in the video description at the moment. Don't forget, if you can, please leave a like on the video, it really does help. And if you want to see more content like this, if you're not a subscriber already, then click on sub button and all that other kind of jazz. Thanks for the super chats. Thanks for taking 2 hours out of your day to watch me blither on like an idiot with a PC. We do appreciate it very much, both Kath, myself, and the cats. I think that's going to be pretty much it. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Kath, say goodbye.
Bye.
There you go. She actually said it.